Hello, agentpreneurs, and welcome to episode 89 of the Daily List Report. We've got an amazing show for you today. Many of you have asked me, actually, you always ask me about social media. What do I post? What platforms do I use? I don't know how to create content, everything under the sun. Today, we've got Scott Betley. He is an LO, loan officer with First Home Mortgage. He's based in the Baltimore area, and he has completely blown up on TikTok. So here's his TikTok account right here, That Mortgage Guy. If you're not using TikTok, definitely check it out. Make sure you follow Scott on TikTok because his videos, honestly, they're super informative and they're gonna make you laugh. My favorite is the dad bod video. It's super great. Help him blow that thing up because it's tremendous. So we got Scott on today. So Scott, I'm gonna bring you on right now. Scott, say hello to the agentpreneurs of ListReports.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing this, Scott. I get a real kick out of your videos. So why don't we start here, Scott? I love for our audience to get a chance to meet our guests. So why don't you just spend a minute or two in giving a little bit about your background and who you are and maybe how you got into social media?
Yeah, so I have family in the business, got into the lending world, heavily 7, 8 years ago. I was always kind of around it and doing things at the family company. I really just have a knack for marketing and branding. I'm kind of obsessed with it. And I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with.
Yeah.
And he just pushes branding and content generation. I really adopted that mid last year. And, it's been a process just like anything else. It takes time to figure out what performs best and what is the best type of content for you, and also letting your walls come down and being authentic. But that's kind of where the journey started. It's been I would say about a year of heavy content generation and just going balls to the wall with it. And it's been great. It's been a good surprise for 2020. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we all need that. And I think that your videos bring some levity to what's happening right now in the world. Scott, you said something there that's really important and something that I've been preaching for months now. In fact, we just had a guest on yesterday, Dr. Lee Davenport, and she wrote a book on this, which is, you said the word authentic. So, when I think about building a brand, right, I think about it purely from the perspective of authenticity. If you're not who you are, then you're nobody, right? And people will see through that. Can you just elaborate a little bit on how the work you do on social media reflects who you are as a person?
Yeah, so it's funny, I was always really prim and proper, kind of over the top with professionalism and just trying to be like a robot. And I did that for 5, 6 years, and going to the other side and just being authentic, letting your walls come down, being a little bit more edgy in yourself. People connect with that so much better, and they're a lot more receptive than you think, as far as when you're trying to front or just act a certain way and you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
But that's a big piece to it. And as far as my content is concerned, I have kids, I'm a dad, I'm really goofy. I like music. I like doing covers of music, so I let a lot of that shine through. I never used to do that, but it's just taken me leaps and bounds compared to what it was previously. So I can't speak highly enough of that.
No, that makes perfect sense. Scott, was it difficult for you? Like, I'm sure in private, like you said, you've always been like this, right? So watching your videos, I feel like I already kind of know you. And that's a good thing, right? Because there's a level of authenticity to it. But like you said, you were pretty buttoned up and a professional guy. Like, what did it take for you to say, you know what? I'm just going to put myself out. This is who I am. I'm just going to put myself out there. If people like me, great. If they don't like me, that's okay too.
Yeah, it was actually, funny enough, Gary Vaynerchuk. I listened to his podcast daily. And, it just got to a point where I got to a point in my life where, honestly, when I was younger, I wasn't the most confident guy. I wasn't as outgoing. Like, I was the guy at school dances off in the corner. I wasn't that person. And, it just comes to a point where, I got so tired of not sheltering myself in who I was, but not like just being open and transparent in myself. Like, I was afraid of what people were going to think. Yeah. And I just got to a point where I was like, screw it. It is what it is. There's going to be people that connect with that and people that don't, and let the chips fall where they may. And it's been awesome. It's worked really well.
That's wonderful. Scott, I'm pulling up on the screen right now just because I have to show it. I'm going to let it loop once or twice. All right, Sundays are for the dads. Sorry, I keep mentioning this because this one just makes me laugh so hard, right? There you are standing in the corner with your cell phone holder on your belt buckle.
I was missing the pit vipers. I'm gonna order those. I need
That's
to.
true. That's right. But you got the dad jean shorts on, the socks, the shoes. Like this is perfect in the dad bod shirt. You're just chilling in the corner while everyone else is hanging out in the pool. So Sundays are for the dads. I absolutely love that. Scott, prior to TikTok, like, were you super active on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, or did you just sort of? How did you adopt TikTok? How did you get to now, 150,000 followers? You're creating some really good stuff, and you got a lot of people watching this.
Thank you. I would say it started with Facebook and Instagram. I've been heavy on Instagram for probably 6-7 years. I branded that mortgage guy probably early last year, where I have a local title guy that I work with primarily, and he's not your average title guy. And I was like, I like that. I need to figure out something that I can brand myself in. And I was looking around, there was no one that had that mortgage guy. I was like, man, this is perfect. So that was kind of how that came to be. But as far as content generation is concerned, I started early last year, and you go back and look at my Instagram and Facebook posts. I mean, I was getting a couple likes. It was really poor content. It was super bland, but it's a process like anything else. Like I said earlier, you create 100 different pieces of content, and you start to see what's performing better and what you can cater more towards. And the three things I try to focus on is value, providing value to some extent, trying to be entertaining, and just being authentic. Those are like my three pillars. And I try to incorporate things not only that I'm interested in, but that are relatable to my audience. Like I noticed that probably 90% of my demographics that follow me are female, and majority of them are mothers, catering more towards dad content and just being a father and wealth building and family and stuff like that. It's worked well. And it's just like anything else, it's a process. You figure stuff out. And I actually started on Facebook and Instagram. My first viral piece of content was late last year, where I don't know if you've seen them, but I've done music videos where I rewrote the song Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. And
It's amazing.
I did that mortgage guy. And that was my very first one. And then I was like, I could do this, and you start to build up a little bit of confidence. And then I started to play with TikTok, because at the same time I was listening to Gary Vee. And late last year, he was raving about the organic reach on TikTok. I was like, I'll try it out. And I think it was like my 30th or 31st video that hit 300 or 400K views overnight. And I was like, wow, this is real. And so that was when I doubled down. And I'm now getting back to doing more music video content and different types of content, where we're writing a couple different new songs right now and covers and just parodies. But I'm excited to start doing that again, because I've been so heavy on TikTok lately. So.
It's awesome. It's fun when this stuff merges together and you get to do what you love, right? And you get to do business at the same time. I mean, I think that's a win-win. Let's kind of cut to the punchline, then we'll take a step back, Scott, which is, what impact has for you TikTok had on your business?
It's easily doubled my business this year. I did really well last year, but I'm on track to do double that, if not more, this year. It's been an awesome surprise. Of course, recently I got licensed in 4 new states as well, so I have some new territories to cover. But in the last couple months, more than half my business is now in these other states, because I'm getting so many leads from TikTok, and they're really decent leads. You'd be surprised. Like, you get these internet leads from Zillow and different entities where the conversion rates are just not so great, but TikTok has been surprising. It's been awesome. So
it's funny you mentioned that. One of your videos that I really liked was the leaving a voicemail for a Zillow lead. That one made me laugh, and I'm sure that would resonate with a lot of our agents.
Yeah, it's just different. Honestly, I never anticipated the leads being as strong as they are, but I would say the people that reach out to me in the states I'm licensed, I'm converting them like 40 to 50% of the time. So
that's crazy, Scott. That's amazing. Well, so what are the mechanics of that, right? When you say you're getting leads from TikTok, are people just DMing you? Do you have some kind? Do they go into your website? Like, how are you actually collecting those leads?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I normally will filter through my comments. It's gotten kind of crazy lately, where some posts are getting 100 to 400 comments, and once you get to I think it's like over 50 or 70 replies within a certain period of time, TikTok shuts off your ability to continue like replying back.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so like now I'm getting to a point where I have to filter through the comments and like see where these people are. Like, can you help in PA? Can you help in Virginia? All these different places. And now I'm having to be more selective about who I'm responding to because it caps me off and then it won't let me respond to anybody for like a day or two. And it's weird. But I have a landing page embedded in my profile where you click the link in my profile. It has like a profile for myself, my cell phone number, my email. But yeah, I'll get like 5 to 10 random texts a day. Hey, Scott, I saw you on TikTok. Can you help me? And then majority of them are emails where I'll get, 30 to 40 emails a day, sometimes more. Like if I really have a video pop off, like I did one late last week, or I'm sorry, it was this weekend. It was the Taylor Swift trend where it's like this Taylor Swift song where you sit the phone down, you walk up to it and you push it on like something that rolls.
Oh, right. I saw that.
Yeah. And I think I'm almost up to 500,000 views on that since Saturday. But between Saturday and Monday, I had gotten like 2 to 250 emails just because I had a big influx in views and engagement. So it just depends.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. So you're getting business out of this, right? So there's clearly a business case for you to continue to do this, like without question. Where do you go from here, right? So you tried this out. You said your first 20, 30 videos, whatever it was, they did okay, and then you had that breakout, right? And that comes for some people, and it doesn't come for other people. But you know what resonates with your audience. So like, where do you take it from here?
Yeah, my goal with the platform, hopefully they don't take it down. If they do, I kind of have the metrics from it to hopefully take it on to something else if there's another TikTok platform that comes. But my goal is I'd love to create it into an influencer account where I can start targeting people within our industry, not only like insurance agencies, real estate agencies, companies like ListReports, wealth building agencies, investment firms, lawyers, things of that nature. There's kids on TikTok that have millions of followers that are able to monetize these accounts. But with myself, I'm so niche with my audience because I'm in the financial marketplace. It's a little bit more niche than, some of these random dancers that just have millions of followers that are all throughout the demographic space. So that's the goal for me, is like, if I can scale it to 1 million to 2 million followers and monetize it to some extent and just have fun and be able to still sustain my mortgage business, but maybe hire a couple LOs and just hand off the business and not have to kill myself every day.
Yeah, exactly. No, that makes a lot of sense. You said something that I think is really important there, Scott, which is, for our audience out there who's listening, and they're used to looking at YouTube videos and they're like, oh, this got, 500 million views, like whatever, these crazy videos. You made a point, which is a niche audience, right? Same thing with this show that I'm doing here every day, is that this is a very targeted, audience that I'm talking to, primarily our users, right? And so, for one of these videos to get 100, 200,000, it just isn't practical. So so think about that as you're creating content out there, right? As all of you are trying this out, think about that, is that this is not a mass market global audience, right? So Scott, to your point, you could absolutely, I guarantee you could make a video, right, that wasn't specific to this, that, could be watched all over the world, and you could have tens of millions of views or hundreds of millions of views. So that's just an interesting thing to keep in mind as all of you out there are thinking about creating content.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, Scott, let's kind of shift gears just a little bit here. One of the things that I love to do on this show is I love to give some just tangible, practical advice, right, to our agents out there who are sitting there and they're just like, oh my God, another platform, now I have to learn TikTok? Like, what's TikTok, right? Or if they've looked at it, or if they're consumers of it, they just don't know where to start. So, how do you think about that? If you're talking to an agent, right, who's like, I know I need to be more active on social media, in particular now, because their opportunities for open houses and to reach people in person are very limited, and they're likely to be limited for some time. What do you tell an agent who wants to get started?
So, I'm a big believer in watching people that are not performing well, but doing well within that space. When I first got on the platform, I didn't necessarily create content right away. I spent some time trying to figure out the context of it, what's going on, what type of content is performing best on the platform, because LinkedIn content is very different from TikTok, and so is Instagram versus Facebook. So it's a matter of kind of figuring out the context of that platform, seeing what performs best. And, my recommendation is you spend 2-3 hours, download the app, create your account. They have a For You page, which is almost like the search screen in Instagram, where it just shows all types of content throughout the world that's performing well on the platform, that's viral content to some extent, and just spend time scrolling through the For You page and consuming content, figuring out these trends. the biggest thing on the platform with TikTok is these sounds and these trending sounds. When you create a video to a sound, and 99% of my videos have a sound incorporated it. You are put within, a database of all these people that have created videos to that sound. And the more videos under that sound, the more likely that video is going to go viral, because there's a lot more people that are consuming content that's coming on the For You page associated with those sounds. So it's crazy. I literally will do a video with the exact same subject without any sound, and I'll add a sound to it and point to text bubbles on beat, and it'll get 10 to 40 times the engagement and views, just because it has a trending sound attached to it. So what I do is, when I'm scrolling through the For You page, once you create your account, there's a little arrow button in the bottom right corner where you can hit the arrow, and I always text the video to myself. And, depending upon what content I'm looking at, I may see something or a skit or something where I'm like, oh, I can spin that this way, or I can do this with that sound, or this or that. And I'll text it to myself with a little blurb of what I'm thinking. And I've just kind of created a database in my phone of potential content that I can just scroll through and pick one for the day. And that's that. But it just comes down to spending some time and figuring out the platform, figuring out some of the little bits and pieces. Like when you go to record a video, there's a little timer countdown button where you can set your phone up, hit the timer, and you can change the stop bar and when the video will stop recording. So if you're doing a skit, you can set your phone down, act like you're talking to somebody, it will stop at a certain point, and then you can change the angle and play the other person or whatever the case is. But just spend some time figuring that out, and it's just a process like anything else. It doesn't happen overnight, and you've got to be diligent. So, and patient. You have patience. It's not going to happen immediately.
It's absolutely not. Scott, I think that's really good advice. And as I think about, so Inman wrote an article recently, and they're talking about how video is increasingly important. And one of the things that they said in the article was, nobody likes how they look on camera, right? Like nobody's first video is a good video. These are just truths, right? The most successful person, right, will tell you that these are the truths. And I think what's interesting about you, Scott, and I hope that our agents are taking this to heart, is that you weren't, class president or class clown, right? Like you said, you were the guy in the corner who was just sort of, shy, timid, whatever, not engaging. And so when somebody looks at you, if somebody were to just look at your TikTok account, they would think, oh man, this guy's always been like this. He's super confident, he's out there, and it's absolutely not the case. And so, I think this is a great lesson. I think you're a great model for this, for everybody listening, to say, it sounds cheesy, right, Scott? But if you can do it, anybody can do it. Does that make sense?
It's true. No, I was always this way, like behind closed doors with my family. They knew I was goofy, but no, even with school, I was always scared of what people would think, and you just got to let that go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, you're listening to Gary Vee, and any source that you can listen to that helps give you that confidence, that spurs you into action, right? Tony Robbins talks about massive action, right? Which is, this is not like, oh, what am I going to do next week? This is what I'm going to do right now, right this moment, right? You're here in this moment, make something happen, take massive action. Scott, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you a little bit about, what you're seeing going on in the world right now. Obviously, rates are crazy, crazy low. Inventory is crazy low in most places. What's happening right now? How are you advising your clients and frankly also your agents? What are you hearing from your agents, and what are you saying to them?
Yeah, it's a interesting world we live in. I am having a lot of realtors that are writing 25 to 30-day contracts, and you know how it is with the inspections up front. They always want to wait to make sure the inspection items go okay. And we can't do that in this marketplace. These appraisers are taking 2 to 2.5 weeks to return reports in some cases.
Wow.
And it's a mix of that and low inventory, and the rates are phenomenal, which is fantastic. There's plenty of refis to be had, but it is just unprecedented times. And of course, with COVID and everything that's happened, things have kind of tightened up in terms of requirements and things of that nature. But there's a lot of business to be had, and I'm hoping that inventory takes a turn here soon for the better, because it's brutal out there. I would say on average, my buyers are submitting 5 to 10 offers before they get a ratified contract, sometimes even more if they need seller help, or if they're utilizing a down payment assistance program or something of that sort. It's just, it's tough out there. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, you're fine. No, I was just saying, as far as my clients are concerned, I'm just letting them know that up front and setting that expectation, so they're not getting too down in the dumps, after their third or fourth offer where they get beat out and there's 5 or 6 other offers in the wings, and it's just the reality of the market. It's tough. So.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny. You said exactly what I was just going to say, which is that it's a very defeating feeling, right? You're out there and you find the home that you want. Honestly, if I'm thinking about buying a home, to have to end up with my 8th choice, right? It's pretty depressing, actually, right? They're not close enough where that's exciting.
And people get emotionally attached to property. I mean, it's tough. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, are you starting to see that? So early on in COVID, I was reporting on this a lot, doing some like little news segments on this show, right? Where credit requirements were tightening, cash out refis, like investment properties, like there was lots of restrictions. Some of the big banks stopped issuing jumbo mortgages, right? There was a massive tightening because they were scared, frankly, if we were going to end up with a massive, because of forbearance and otherwise and job losses, a massive amounts of foreclosures, and right, what that means for the asset value. Are you starting to see things continue to open up? Are they retightening? What's happening right now in the market?
I think we're in a little bit of a lull. I've seen some investors start to loosen a little bit, but I think there's still some fear, with the second wave and what's going on. And I mean, the forbearances are still happening. I think there's a lot of people that have come out of that, who have gone back to work, and it's gotten a little bit better, but it's scary. I mean, I've been doing mortgages at between a 580 and a 639. I would say the last 6-7 years, probably 30 or 40% of my clientele have been at that level, where I've either rescored them or got them where they need to be, where they had a serious life event or something in the past that was keeping them at that level. But a lot of those people are still making their mortgage payments. They're not in foreclosure. They are well-qualified buyers. And it's frustrating that, the window in the box just keeps getting smaller. But I hope that in the next 4 to 6 months, once that risk of these forbearances and the percentage they were projecting at previously, I mean, I think it was fairly close to where we were in 2008, which is scary. I mean, I get why they were tightening, but hopefully that comes back. I guess we'll see.
Absolutely. Scott, this has been a really great chat. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. For all of you out there, again, That Mortgage Guy on TikTok, he's also That Mortgage Guy on Instagram. And so, he's been able to sort of build a brand around this. So make sure you check out the videos, follow, and explore these new platforms, right? There's really no risk in doing that. And Scott, like I said, be authentic, right? And as you said, be patient, which is really important. And one of the things that I talked about recently on a show, Scott, is just set a goal. Like, I'm going to do a video a week for a year or video a day, whatever it is, and then reevaluate, because it may not be the right platform for you, and that's okay, but you have to give it its fair shot, and you have to be diligent about learning from the best, right? What other people are doing, to your point, Scott.
Yeah, and there's people on the platform that have created hundreds of videos, and their 257th video was the one that bumped their following up by 10 to 20K, and then it just snowballed from there. So you got to be patient and diligent, for sure.
Absolutely. Scott, thanks so much for taking the time today. I've really enjoyed the conversation, really enjoying your videos. So thank you so much for taking time today.
Thanks, man. It was a pleasure.
All right, Scott. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, everyone. Thank you again.
Thank you. So there you have it, right? What we're trying to do on this show is bring you the best of the best. And I think Scott embodies that. I think his mindset is right. I think his perspective as a loan officer is fantastic. The content that he's creating clearly is resonating with people, and I think it's tremendous. It's entertaining. It's informational. It sort of checks all of the boxes, right? And most importantly, as Scott talked about, it's authentic, right? This is who he is, right? He's not putting on an act here. This is who he is. And now I can totally imagine hanging out with Scott at his pool with his dad bod outfit on. And hopefully I join him one day. That sounds amazing. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel if you like it. Click the little bell to be notified. Until tomorrow, be safe, be healthy, be happy, and we'll see you soon. Bye.